And of course, there's been this police investigation and there have been some arrests. And what's interesting is lots of people are sharing on social media photographs and names and details they believe are accurate about this case. And there's a bit of a warning from the police and others that you shouldn't. So why? Well, Holly Powell-Jones is a journalist and lecturer. She goes into schools and workplaces and that kind of thing to teach people about UK media law. So she knows a thing or two. Morning, Holly.
Good morning.
What would be the problem in seeing a post where someone has, I don't know, put a photo up maybe of some people and said it's these people who did it, and you sharing that? What would be wrong with that?
Well, what we have to be careful of is any stories that are to do with crime and policing have got a risk for what's called contempt of court. So that's basically any material that could create a risk of bias or prejudice. So definitely anything that makes out that somebody is guilty of a crime, particularly before that person has actually been found guilty in a court of law or has admitted any charges. And that starts from the moment that somebody is arrested, is what we'd call the sort of the danger zone, if you like. And I think what's difficult is I know that people are really generally just trying to be helpful, I think, when they share information about crime and policing. But the problem is that actually you can be hindering justice rather than helping, because if there's lots of prejudicial or biased material online about a case, that can cause the case to collapse. That can be an obstruction to justice, which is not something that we want at all. So I would say to people, if you see anything online that's to do with a crime story and an arrest has already been made, tell that person to take it down, because actually that's a really risky thing that could be not only breaking the law, but actually stop that justice process.
So what you're saying, that people have been so incensed, particularly by this story and any story really of of animals being hurt, and this dog in the Trent really angered people. They're trying to do something to get justice, but actually they might end up risking the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this happens with lots of different crime cases. Back in the day, it would have only been journalists really in the media who were able to share information about an ongoing police trial or a police investigation or a trial. But now, because of social media, it means that everybody's able to spread information, but not everybody has had just the education or the awareness really of how media law works online. And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, is because I think it's really important for people to get training on online media law so they know about these things and they can use it kind of carefully. But yeah, if you want to help in an ongoing crime investigation and you've got some information, the only thing you should be doing is sharing it with the police. Because if you're posting it up online and it is biased or prejudicial, that's going to hinder rather than help the police to get justice.
What about names? Because there have been arrests in this particular case, but those names haven't been made public. That's what people seem to be incensed about, that the names aren't being publicised. Why would someone who'd been arrested not be named?
There's all sorts of reasons why people might not be named or identified in an ongoing police investigation or in the run up to a trial. And particularly if something goes to court, you're going to pick a jury, aren't you, from random members of the public. And that's why we have to be very careful in terms of media, in terms of what we're sharing, because a future potential jury member, stuff is going to potentially stick in their mind from stuff that they've read or seen about a case. And they might not be kind of making a fair decision based on what evidence they hear in a courtroom. So that's why we have it. And I think, like I said, the most important thing to do is to actually check out the police website. So BBC Nottinghamshire, you'll get your information from the police website. Now, if information has been published on a police website, and they do post updates about ongoing cases, then the information in that news item on the police website is likely to be safe, because it's police released information. Anything that's not included in that information is stuff that you need to be really careful about, and is stuff that might be risky in terms of contempt of court.
Holly, thank you. Holly Powell-Jones, journalist and lecturer teaching people about UK media law. It's not as straightforward as it might first appear. It's BBC Radio Nottingham. We are off in the next 10 minutes to